Hey everyone, last week I had an inspection at a waterfront property, and while I'm not going to show you that inspection, I hopped in the water there to actually inspect the retaining wall that was part of the waterfront. Now, I'm not going to show you that inspection because that is private for that client and whoever they want to share it with, but I do have an opportunity to show you what I was inspecting here. The retaining wall here, it's made of stone and concrete mortar poured in between. All right. Now, as we can see here, it looks like it's tilting forward. Now, that's an issue because that means the soil behind it is eroding and pushing this forward. So there's actual movement causing this to go forward. Now, another sign of this actual soil movement is the walkway itself. You can see down below the water, the pad itself looks like it's pretty much intact there aside from the top part breaking off. Same thing for below this too. So that means the soil has just pushed this all forward, and it's not a situation where the waves are just destroying the actual walkway. Right here, this is another sign that there has been soil movement. This stone on the walkway actually looks like it was a part of the wall at one point. And there's another piece right over there too, as well as further down. So we can see that this has all shifted forward at one point in time. So in this section here, we can see that a lot of the actual concrete below the water has been degraded away. This is most likely caused because there's, well, a lot of boats on this lake, and it causes a lot of wave crashing, and that is something that will happen over time. It is just a simple fact of science. If you continually beat the rock wall with the actual water, it's gonna degrade the wall. So, talking about this walkway and the actual retaining wall, is this functional and safe? Well, let's look at it. Is this functional and safe? Well, we can walk on this. I wouldn't really advise it. Is it safe? Not really, because of all that moss buildup, and the water going onto it makes it even more slippery. So there's a good chance that someone walking on it will either fall into the water or slip and fall and hit their head on the concrete or the retaining wall. So this would be a safety issue that we would call out and say you would want to get addressed. Now, the other thing about this that is fairly concerning is the fact that there's soil movement pushing this rock wall forward. And when I say that's fairly concerning, it's because any amount of soil movement is going to take away from the stability of the house depending on how close it is. And in this case, the house is pretty close to the actual retaining wall. Now, over there, it doesn't seem to be falling as much. However, I don't know if it is. It's a situation where this is moving and you need to actually address this, because if your soil erodes away, then what's holding your house up? Now, the other thing about this is really important to think about too, is not just the actual work that's going to go into repairing it, but what you're going to have to do in terms of getting approval to do the work. When you're working this close to the wetlands, you have to get approval from the town, as well as you have to make sure who you're using to do the work is in compliance with EPA laws too. Everything you see in back of me and everything I've shown you is in a wetland area. And whenever you're doing work on a wetland area, you need to pull the appropriate permits. Because if you don't, and things get brought up, you're on the hook for all the repair work that they say you need to do in order to make things right.